Hi, I'm Maureen Brown, your Master Talent hosting teacher. In part 3 of our video, The Host Tell All, Brian Corsetti, Jeannie Mai, and Lance Smith will share more career advice and hopefully give you inspiration for your own hosting careers.
I never considered giving up hosting. I've considered adjusting it, maybe going into corporate speaking or, teaching classes or doing internet blogs instead of TV, but the hosting element has always been there.
I never considered giving up hosting, never. Even to this day, oh my gosh, it's a huge journey. And even if, let's just say, gravity hits, everything sags, everything bags, something happens and I can't be presentable on camera anymore, I will still continue to host parties. I will host different events to bring light to the right things that I believe in. I'm going to host people. I host people just by spending time with people, just by asking them what's their story, what are you about, what made you get here. Every single person has an invisible sign that says, get to know me. And so knowing that, you just always have the job as a host because you get to know them.
I have considered walking away from hosting a time or two. I have, I'll freely admit that. I don't define myself as a host, period. I'm many things. I love hosting, and it's what I do, it's my career. But there's been a time or two where I thought, well, I'd be interested in doing something else. But, when you get those certain gigs that are just, they're fun, and you feel like you added a lot to it. Maybe I got out what I put in and then some. That keeps you coming back for more. It really does.
I've made tons of mistakes. Are you kidding me? Whether I didn't prepare or I misread the copy where I thought I was supposed to be a certain thing and I came up and I showed up with a jersey on. I'm supposed to have a T-shirt. Little things. And those are the things you got to really pay attention to detail, because if you don't, you're going to end up in a clown suit in a beer scene. You know what I mean? So there's those little minor mistakes. But, I tell all the, anybody who asks me that wants to be a host and they say, what are one of the things that you've learned over your experience as being a host is, it sounds cliche, but just be nice on set. Be nice to the assistants, to the makeup people. I've seen directors going into a makeup wardrobe and asking the wardrobe stylist, who was mean and who did you like the best?
I have made, I think, just about every mistake there is to make. The key is to learn from those mistakes. The key is to not do it again. I think some of the mistakes I made early on were pigeonholing myself, only being open to, one thing because I set that in my head. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to be. And I miss so much. Another mistake, I think people make often is getting involved in a project that might take a certain amount of knowledge, whatever it is. If you're on a red carpet, if you're doing something that has to do with a sport, know your product, know it, every bit of it.
If you want to do it, jump in and hustle. Listen, know your craft, be a professional. You really need to be the best out there because the competition's incredible. Just hone your craft and do it the best you can be. Don't say that you want to be a host and then do it haphazardly, because then it makes you look bad. You're not going to get any jobs, you're going to get frustrated. Do it. People often ask me, what's the advice to get into being a host? And my advice is write your own history book, because my story is different from your story, and your story is going to be different from that guy's story. It's like, what are the angles? And the number one thing that you got to do is listen, because everyone has an opportunity. You just need to listen for the opportunity. You know what I mean? Be aware of it. And then once you are aware of it, you'll just snatch it up and take full control.
I have so much respect for the path of an aspiring host because it's a hard journey. It's a hard journey in that you really get to know yourself well, and you really have to bust your butt, especially in this city of Los Angeles, to really make yourself stand out. But at the same time, you've got to remember, you have zero competition of anybody trying to be you. You are unique and you have your own identity. Nobody could have your past if they tried to. Nobody could duplicate your looks and the way you talk. So knowing that, you have to really embrace that and remember that and own that. Really be excited about the fact that nobody could compete with being Jeannie Mai. Nobody could compete with being you. So that's the first start. The second start that I will say, because it is a hard-working journey, you have to always promote yourself and find ways that people can utilize your services. And when I say promote yourself, I don't mean like going and sticking your sticker on everybody's face and saying that you rock and you should, you know, they should hire you, but more finding out what can I do for you? What can I bring light to? Because everybody else is working for themselves. So a show really wants their show to make money. They don't care about you, they want their show to make money. A manager really wants to make money on his own. He really doesn't always care about you, he wants to make money for himself. So if you instead flip the script to think, okay, how can I bring this manager a different sense of business because I'm going to make his business rock? Or if I'm going to host this game show, how am I going to add my own zest to this show to make it unbelievable and unimaginable from what this network had first projected? That's the type of attitude you can bring to things so that people see that you are being selfless in your own ways, but you are going to grow as a team together. As a host, your job is to bring light and attention to others. It's not all about you. If you're going to sit there having an all me, me, me show, then we're going to have another Snooki in the house. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, as a host, your job, it's a huge privilege to bring light to what's going on around you. So you have to have an attitude of selflessness to start. I also find that the one thing that got me through, and even today that's gotten me through working hard as a host, is it's kind of a little motto that I have where basically, if you've got time to stress, find someone to bless. If you ever are sitting there and you're just like, my career's not getting anywhere, I'm broke, nobody's hiring me, you're thinking way too much about yourself. Go find somebody to bless, whether it's a shelter, maybe it's a friend who needs just, you know, an hour of your time to counsel, maybe it's something in your community. Find something in LA that has a need to use your services. Maybe it's hosting a party or an event for your friend, an art gallery, a children's shelter. If you find the way to bless others, you will learn, A, the biggest tip to being a host, which is being selfless and not always focusing on yourself. And B, you will be promoting yourself in such a way that really should matter, where you're bringing light to another, not to yourself.
Any advice I could give to aspiring hosts would be to always be open to possibilities. You never know where your career is going to lead you. You never know what you're going to be doing. You may say, I want to be the next whoever, but you're not going to be. You're going to be the first you. And then somewhere along the way, if you make it, someone years down the road will say, I want to be the next you. And that's just how the cycle goes. But no one ever truly becomes that person. I'm not going to be Ryan Seacrest. I'm always going to be Lance Smith. So I think that you want to have big goals, but you just want to stay open. And above all, I tell this to everybody. No matter what production you're on, no matter how big or small, as a host, you are the reflection of everyone's hard work on that production, in that production. You are the mirror of everyone's hard work. You represent everyone on that team. It ain't about you, and plus too, if you're hosting, unless your name is in the title of the show, the audience isn't watching to see you. They want to like you. You got to help connect the dots there. You are the host, but they're watching the program. So be nice to your crew, be open to anything, and remember that it's not always about you.